3 of my series on basic core activation. So just to recap, we're still thinking of the core as being like a box. If you remember, the lid of the box is our diaphragm coming across our trunk. The walls of the box are our transverse abdominis and our multifidus in the back. And now in this video, we're going to talk about the floor of the box, or our pelvic floor. So what does the pelvic floor do? It has a few different jobs. So one is really to act as the floor of the box. It really does lift and support the contents of our pelvis and our abdomen, kind of holds everything up. Secondly, we use these muscles to control when we go to the bathroom. So when we're just at rest, these muscles are contracting some to keep us from going to the bathroom, and then once it's time, we relax those muscles. So when you're pregnant, you have a lot more content in your abdomen, so those pelvic floor muscles really have a big job to do to hold and support everything up. A lot of the time after having a baby, the pelvic floor is damaged or torn, and this can make it really hard for it to do its job in supporting, but as well as controlling when we go to the bathroom. So that can cause some leaking, which is totally normal. But we want to make sure that our pelvic floor is as strong as it can be before we go into labor, and that'll make everything a little bit easier on the other side. So, the pelvic floor reaches from, in the front, the pubic bone. So at the front of your pelvis, you have that bony part right in the middle, to the back of the tailbone. So as we're practicing contracting the pelvic floor today, I want you to think about that entire area contracting. We're going to practice 2 different movements of the pelvic floor. So one is squeezing in, and 2 is lifting up. So we want the pelvic floor to be able to control both of these functions. So if you think about it, squeezing in is going to stop you from going to the bathroom. Lifting up is going to support the contents of the abdomen. So they're both equally important. We're going to practice first laying on our backs. So go ahead and lay flat. Knees are bent. So first just relax all your muscles. Make sure your abdomen's relaxed, your legs are relaxed, so nothing is contracted yet. And then first we're going to close. We're going to lift the pelvic floor up towards the head, lower back down, and then relax. So let's practice that a few times. Close first, lift, lower, and relax. Close, lift, lower, and relax. Good. Okay, so let's sit back up. So the next step is to do this while you're upright. So laying on the floor is a great way to start, and if you're having trouble with that, I would just stick with that for now. But if you're ready, you're going to try this in upright, so that means either sitting or standing. So now as you lift, you're having to actually lift against gravity, so there's some resistance on your contraction. But we're going to practice those very same movements as we did before. So close, lift, lower, and relax. Close, lift, lower, and relax. Good. So as you're practicing these contractions, you might notice some of those other muscles that we talked about in parts 1 and 2. You might feel the muscles of your abdomen and your back, and you might feel that big breathing muscle, the diaphragm, all working at the same time. So in our next part, part 4, we are going to kind of bring it all together. So now that we know how to activate each of these 4 parts, we're going to practice activating them at the same time and activating them while we're doing daily tasks. Thank you for joining me today. Make sure you check out thefitnewmom.com for more tips on having a healthy and fit pregnancy, and I'll see you back for part